this. Turn the volume down. Turn the treadmill on. All right. Oh, well, I almost have it memorized now, but let me pull this up. Where is it? Treadmill workout. Make it a little smaller. This just tells me when to switch the speeds. I pretty much have it memorized, but you know, it's good to have it up there. All right, here we go. Going up to 4% grade. And just warm up for 5 minutes. See how my legs feel. They feel pretty good. Last time I did this was Friday. Yeah, I should do it on Sunday too, I guess. Sunday's a rest day, but like maybe the cardio workout isn't a bad idea. Going up to 2.8. I wanted to go for 26 today, 26 miles. I don't have time. I have to go into work tonight. What's funny, I have the Walmart OnePay card, and there's an option to buy stock. So I've been buying NVIDIA and Walmart stock. But the thing is, though, is that sometimes I forget, and it buys $10 of each every 2 weeks. But that's $20 every 2 weeks or every month, and then $40 because it's two. I'm going to play the stock market. Let's see, 2.8. So I definitely got to make it in tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday, Saturday. Doing deliveries for Walmart, though, it's actually kind of fun work. I hate saying that. The pay, if they like you, if your metrics are high, you can make 20 bucks an hour. But you gotta deliver for them. And I don't mean that like doing deliveries. You gotta take it all seriously. Make sure all the merchandise gets delivered. Treat the customer well. Yeah, Saturday was awesome. I did like around 115 bucks in five and a half hours, something like that. It came out to like 20 and change. Usually I'm around 18 or 19. Sometimes I'm as low as 15. Really depends on what jobs are available. And I'll tell you, I got some competition. I see offers pop up on my screen, and I'll look at it and say, oh shit, because I always check, the mileage, where am I going? Especially during like rush hour traffic. Those things, they get snatched up quick. People just hit accept. And I missed out on like some $40 jobs because of that. I'm going up to 3.6. And I gotta start getting prepared for the fundraiser. That's gonna be April 25th. Now, if it gets hosted by a gym, I have to go by whatever they say, but if I'm gonna be doing it here, it's gonna be April 25th. I'm gonna start around noon, or 1, something like that, and go on until either, one of us craps out, me or the treadmill. And I hope it's neither. I hope after an effective amount of time, I raise enough money to where Rainbow Railroad can effectively help some people out. But it's not going to be on a 4% grade, it's going to be on a 2%. I'd like for it to be at a gym though, because these Skechers I have, they're great, but I have another pair of like hiking sneakers that are just like, I know I can do 30 miles in them, maybe 40. That's a big bold boast, but I know I can. One thing I can do is walk long distances and babble. But these Skechers, like I said, they're good, but my feet start, like the bottom of my feet, the soles, they start to hurt more wearing these than with the other sneakers. I keep forgetting the company. A guy I do some yard work for gave them to me, and you can't see it now, but behind this chair, there's a Roland JC 75. JC 77, and he just gave it to me. He doesn't play anymore. I told him after I said thank you, that I used to play stereo through a pair of JC 120s. This is back in the 90s. Coming out of a Quadriverb GT. And that didn't last very long. The only time I was in a gigging band, I was playing bass, and not very well. But, yeah, gave me an amplifier. I have to fix the ground in it, and I'm going to bring it to a shop because I don't want to fuck it up. So that'll probably cost like $150. Yeah. But the sneakers he gave me they're just awesome. He didn't like them. He's like, I wore them like 2 times and they just, they don't work for me. So, yeah. And they're incredible. So I like to wear them when I do the fundraiser because it's more support for my feet. The soles don't get as sore. Oh boy. If I do it here, I'm gonna have to rig one of the cameras over the, what do you call it, over the deck, so people can see the readout. You know, they can see how many miles I do. I would like to have a pledge by the mile thing, but just like any means to make donations, whatever I can do with YouTube. The charity is more used to working with Twitch, and they have like all the fundraisers they've done online have been with Twitch. So this would be good for them because then they could see how effective it is with YouTube. I imagine it would be very similar. Ooh. With this poor little treadmill. This thing is awesome. I love this thing. A bolt fell out of it. And when I called to ask about a repair, they said, oh, well, we don't have anyone to repair it. We'll just refund your money. It was $325, $348 with tax. I got refunded the $325, so I got a treadmill for $23. And I told them, you know, the thing still works. And they're like, well, give it to someone and buy a new one. Now I've been paying $18 a month for to this insurance company for 3 years now, Assyrian Tech, but they've come through for me twice. Once with a laptop, an expensive laptop that went belly up on me, and it was a regretful buy. I spent way too much money on a laptop with horsepower I didn't need. So I got to take the money from that, put it into my car, which really needs it, and replace it with a smaller, less powerful laptop. I'm an old fart, so I like to do everything on my desktop. The thing is, though, the video card I have, it's a workstation card. They don't fit very well into laptops. And I thought about selling my desktop and buying a really high-end laptop, maybe a custom one. I like to be able to work on my own computer. That's the thing, you know. I have a full-size tower. It's one of those old Cooler Master Stormtroopers, not the white one, the black one. And it's got this Asus antenna on top, you know, for the Wi-Fi. And it looks like a little orca thing on top of my really cool and angular full-size tower. But it's a great tower. I love that thing. I put just regular Noctua fans. It stays cool. I mean, I monitor my temperatures. I have 2 utilities. I can just open up and see the temperatures on every part of the motherboard, and basically the whole computer. But there's something wrong with my BIOS. Whenever I reboot the computer, it'll tell me that there's over temperature, and I have to hit F1 to go into the BIOS and tell it, you know, just start. And then I check the temperatures and everything's fine. So I don't know what the fuck's doing it, and I don't really care as long as it reboots, you know. And actually having the opportunity to hit that F1, I have to make a partition for Linux, because I want to start experimenting with, you know, using Linux. I've been Microsoft my whole life. Well, my whole computer life. It's time to branch out. And there's plenty of excellent people on YouTube to get advice about switching to Linux. Sunday morning, I weighed in 148.2, I think, yeah. The day before I was like 151. So I lost 3 pounds. Yesterday I baked a ham. It was the first time I baked a ham in the oven. My first ham I put in the slow cooker came out kind of not that good. But in the oven I used one of those cooking bags. It's made out of high heat plastic. Oof, I've used it on 2 turkeys so far, and perfect. Excuse me. So I used it on a ham last night. Came out good. I was cutting chunks off of that thing. Yeah, I had a plate of vegetables along with it. I'm back up to 151 this morning. But it was so worth it. And now I've got about 8-9 pounds of ham in the refrigerator. I must have eaten like 12 to 16 ounces. Oh, it was so good. So yeah, I'm gonna freeze about like 6 pounds of it. I'm gonna try to do a pea soup. I never did pea soup before. I never made soup from scratch, so to speak. But I got this great big ham bone. Now I was thinking of just buying a bunch of cans of pea soup and sticking it with the ham bone and a bunch of ham chunks, but throw it in the slow cooker for 4 hours or so. Low heat. But my mom used to make pea soup from scratch every time we had ham. So whenever we had ham, it was like, oh, yeah. I'm from New York, so we get the really, really, really soft Italian bread, or the dinner rolls, the Kaiser rolls. The Kaiser rolls, the crust is hard, but the inside is super soft. Dipping that bread into the pea soup. I would eat probably about 3,000 or 4,000 calories worth. But I was a skinny, hyperactive kid, so it didn't matter. I think that's something I'm gonna do. Probably make like about 2 gallons. Eat and share a gallon and freeze the other gallon in I guess pint size. When I freeze soup, I don't use Tupperware, actually I get the Rubbermaid take-alongs. Sometimes they survive the freezer, sometimes they don't. I've had one crack open on me down the side, but I've had like 2 or 3 survive. I make rice and beans with chopped turkey, and I'll throw that in the freezer, but now I use freezer bags, and that's been working out well. So it's funny, you just peel the plastic off this frozen block of soup, and you put the frozen block of soup in the microwave. And I do it minute by minute, stirring it up, Comes out really good. I got turkey soup. I'm almost done with the turkey soup. I think I have like 2 or 3 more pints left. I have the green turkey soup and the brown turkey soup. The green turkey soup is very heavy in, well, I made it with canned vegetables in the, not a slow cooker. Did I use a slow cooker? Yeah, I did. I had a turkey carcass, but it was too big for the slow cooker. And I didn't feel like doing it on the stovetop. So I broke the carcass in half, and half I made with, like I'll use 5 cans of mixed vegetables, 2 cans of spinach, and a big can of the Glory or the Margaret Holmes seasoned greens and seasoned collard greens. And all that goes in low heat for 8 hours, maybe 10. But what comes out is really good. Now the brown is made, instead of the seasoned greens, I use seasoned cabbage from the Margaret Holmes brand. And it comes out really good. And I was putting canned baby potatoes in there. But the baby potatoes, when you're microwaving them, they heat up at a different rate than the soup itself. So either you overcook the soup or you undercook the potatoes. Live and learn. But unfortunately, I mean, it's okay for me, but I mean, other people may not sweat as much as I do. It's really high in sodium. So I got to start making it like rinsing the the seasoned vegetables, because they're very high in sodium, and also getting the low sodium mixed vegetables. But the thing is, though, if Gemini, the AI, calculated it out to be like between 1,800 and 2,200 milligrams per 2-cup serving. It's kind of on the high side, but it also calculated how much I sweat and how much sodium I lose. So it balances out, but still, my blood pressure is kind of on the low side. It's in the desired range, but on the low side. Yeah. So sodium really isn't my enemy, but I don't want to fuck with it. I don't want to, I'm 58, that's heart attack age. So I don't want to screw with it. Like with this, my heart rate's up to 132, but that's not bad. If I was up around 180, with this much exertion, that would be troubling. My right knee sometimes gives me a little bit of a warning, but if I tighten up my thighs when I step forward, it goes away really quickly. So that's telling me there's something about the way I walk when I'm not conscientiously flexing my quads. trying to do that automatically. It's kind of like when you're lifting weights and you throw the weight rather than controlling the motion and just doing it swiftly. But I'll feel that tinge in my shoulder too. All right, going up to 4.2 miles an hour in about 20 seconds. Yeah, I'm going to start doing this on Sundays too. I just won't stream it. It'll only be for like an hour or so. All right, here we go. 4.2 miles an hour. And it's funny, when I speed up, that little, 0.2 miles an hour, you kind of feel it, but I really don't. When I slow down, when I get up to 4.4, I do that for 20 minutes and I slow down to 4.2. You feel it. When you slow down by 0.2 miles an hour, you feel it. I got high before, so I don't remember if I said this. The gym, I wanted to do the what do you call it? The fundraiser. The gym I want to do the fundraiser at, I don't think they have treadmills. I think they're more for strength training and for wellness. And I think it might be exclusively for women. I'm not sure. But if that's the case, I'm going to try Planet Fitness. But I'm also going to have to come up with a means of streaming myself, as well as the readout on the treadmill deck. Depending on what happens Saturday, I might, I like to keep Sunday open for like shopping and shit like that. But I get stupid when I go shopping. I spent $100 yesterday. I mean, it was on mostly food, actually almost entirely food, and some household items. But I had coupons from the Kroger that were going to expire, and they felt like good ones. I got 2 things of turkey sausage, 3 pounds of chopped turkey meat. What else did I get? Oh, this sucks. I make burritos. Like, I'll get refried beans. I'll take 2 pounds of chopped turkey, brown it. Add like 2 cans of chili beans and 1 can of like the super spicy hot ones. And then I there's also like a can of green enchilada sauce. Maybe a packet of seasoning. But I make burritos with that. And the amount that I make, you can make about 20 burritos and have some of the burrito goo left over. You can put it on like tostadas or something like that. So 2 weekends ago, maybe 3, I made 20 burritos, and I had them in a big freezer bag. So I had like three of them, so I had 17 burritos wrapped up and frozen. I was cleaning out the freezer, and I put the bag on the floor, and it got kind of hidden behind some other shit. And the next day, oh god, I saw those burritos sitting there, and I hold up the bag, and it's like brown water on the bottom, so I threw them out. That made me so sad. So yesterday I bought more burrito fixings. I think for like $10, you end up with like 20 burritos. You know, plus a little left over. And that includes the tortillas. You get 20 tortillas for like $4, $4 or $5. The refried beans and the chili beans. All right, so there's 6 cans in there, like $1 each, plus $1 for the enchilada sauce. So, all right, $12. You get 20 burritos. So that's like what, 60 cents each? That's good. And you're not making it with like industrial grade beef or pork or whatever they use. Because I used to love the microwave burritos you get out of the gas station or Walmart. But they just not as healthy as when you make them yourself. I'm not saying burritos are healthy food, but you know, if you want one, I love them. You're better off making them yourself. Same thing with burgers. I can't go to like McDonald's and shit. The burgers, I don't like them. I went to Burger King like 2 or 3 times. Not even. I think twice over the last 4 years. You know, I've been living here. And what I can do with a frozen burger and like some relish and maybe some mayonnaise, maybe some ketchup, maybe some barbecue sauce, maybe this, maybe that. I fuck around with it. But I consistently make better burgers. You know, cheddar cheese, or I'll do the Swiss cheese and the onions and the mushrooms. I'll whip up a packet of Knorr Béarnaise sauce, which is really good. It's like high in calories, but it's really good. It's good on eggs. That's the other thing. I'm really good at cooking eggs. So I don't, you know, I'm from Long Island, and the egg sandwiches that you get for breakfast, most people get 2 eggs with bacon and cheese. And that's all right. The thing is, though, is that the bread is really good. New York bread is just, it's unbeatable. I used to get 2 eggs on a roll with ham and melted Swiss. No salt, no pepper, just some butter. And just what I preferred. But I would rather make my own, you know? I always did. When I was a kid, frying eggs was like one of my, you know, it was awesome. I loved it. And I used to eat half a dozen eggs at a time. You know, 4 slices of cheese. We used to get the processed cheese food, you know, the Kraft and that shit. But I always like preferred cheddar or Swiss. And when I started paying for food, that's what I would get. I prefer ham over bacon. I like bacon, but, you know, I like ham better. when I made it home, I could have as much as I want. I didn't have to pay for seconds. Oh, excuse me. Before I got on here, I had some ginger ale. Love that stuff. So, about another 10 minutes, I'll go up to 4.4 miles an hour. The game I'm working on it's ready to be published. It's going up on itch.io sometime this week. I could get away in the credits just saying audio files by Pixabay, but I kind of want to name the original, the authors too, who uploaded it to Pixabay. So I have to look up all the sound files that I used and get their names off of the Pixabay page. So I might do that before I go to work, or I might just do it tomorrow. And that's it. For itch.io, I have to come up with a page for my company, and I have a domain name. The name of my company is Waddling Studios LLC. There's a German software company that made a piece of software that's still available called Waddling, and I got to see if according to Grok, who helped me set up the AI, as long as there's no other software company in like the state of Kentucky where I am, I'm in good shape. I don't have to worry about infringement. But if they decide, no, we're going to take you to court, then I need a lawyer. I can't afford a lawyer, so I would just give up. But I have other names. It's just Waddling is the one I like the best. But yeah, the game I'm putting up on itch.io is going to be 99 cents. But it's going to be to fund the full version of the game. It's a prototype. When I started making it, I really didn't know what I was doing. So the general layout is kind of like a 90s game, or it follows like 90s, scaffolding. The structures of like where everything is. So it's kind of like it's at a fixed resolution. It can't be modded. Probably could, but it's like a pain in the ass to do it. You can't, like I tried like detaching the camera. The camera's in a fixed space. So depending on when when the prototype goes up, we're going to start work. When I say we, I mean me and Claude Desktop and Claude on the website. We're going to start work on the full version. The full version I see being like $3.99. Oh. 4-player. Multiplayer, it's going to have to be over a network or over LAN, but it'll be multiplayer. The prototype is single player only. It's a racing game, so you're gonna have a track builder. 2 different kinds. One that's spline based, and the other one that snaps together like an AFX or a Tyco track. It's gonna have bank turns and stuff like that. It's going to have bridges. You know, these are things I couldn't work into the prototype. Be fully moddable. Whoa. I want to make a Spy Hunter variant. You know, procedural, what do you call it? Procedural map generation. The one thing that's cool, because it's a racing game, you don't really have to worry about save games. If there's if I end up putting a campaign game, you know, like a career game, you're only going to be saving in between races. But with the prototype being done, you know, that's a milestone for me. It's the first computer game I've ever finished working on. The first time I've gotten it to market ready, and I couldn't have done it without the AI. But with the full version that's upcoming, it just feels like the sky's the limit. For a little game that's going to sell for $3.99 or $4.99, but probably $3.99. Get it up on Steam, and Steam can do the 50% sales that they do. So you get the game for $2. Yeah, the track builder can be a free download. You know, the 2-track builders. I like to get the licensing to use real-world cars, but I can't afford that. So I was going to come up with like parody names. I really don't want to do that. I'd rather just use, you know, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Mercedes, Porsche, whatever, with like as close to possible real-world handling. What I want to bring up to these companies is that those individual cars, the Ford Mustang, the Camaro, the Challenger, the Charger, the Viper, and I could go on, the 911 Carrera, shit. People love these cars. To me, each one is as much an institution as the companies that make them, you know? I think in that regard, it should kind of, I mean, if I don't know. You see, in a game like Grand Theft Auto, or, what is that, Beam NG something, the car game from Germany that everyone loves. I have it. Because they have damage models, and in Grand Theft Auto you're stealing cars. You know, it's just the name. They probably don't want their cars associated, so you have to use like parody names and stuff like that. There are no damage models in my game, and it's racing. You know, track racing. I was thinking about a Death Race 2000, but someone else can make that mod. I do want to make a Steve Jackson tribute mod based on his Star Wars Car Wars game. It's a tabletop game from the 80s and 90s. Steve Jackson games. He's still around too. He had a tank game called Ogre. It's a tabletop game. And it was about futuristic robot tanks going up to 4.4 miles an hour now. Whoa. The Ogre was this massive robot tank with like multiple turrets and all kinds of, armor and firepower, trudged along very slowly. And the other player had an army of smaller, lighter vehicles, main battle tanks and shit like that. And you duke it out. And it was fun. I used to play that solo, just, not really caring who won. Because it was kind of cool just having little robot tank battles on your bed, So I'd like to do the Steve Jackson tribute version with just like some elements of Car Wars, having like a machine gun on the cars and a grenade launcher out the back. Shit like that. Little explosions. Shooting out the driver's side window. Definitely gotta make it into work tonight though. I just charged up my, what do they call it? A tablet. That's what I use to listen to music. It Bluetooths to the car stereo. This is 4.4 miles an hour, and I feel pretty good doing this. I don't think I could go this speed on a 4% grade for like more than like 2 or 3 hours at the most. But it feels pretty good to me. Wait a minute. Did I? Oh, I think I fucked up. Yeah, 25 I go up to, yeah, okay, I didn't screw up. 25 minutes I go up to 4.2 miles an hour. 45 minutes I go up to 4.4. Okay, because I'm looking at the chart. 4.4 miles an hour ends at 65 minutes. So. The tablet keeps turning on and off to let me know that it's fully charged. Hey, look at that. It's gonna bounce right out of there. I took a few hits off my inhaler before doing this. It's supposed to raise your heart rate, but it doesn't. Because I watch my heart rate on this thing. Right now I'm up to around 138 beats per minute. But I feel quite good. I think as long as it's below 160 or 180, something like that. 180 is 3 beats per second. But I'm at over 2 beats a second. I don't think it's really that big of a deal. The worst thing I have done was smoke cigarettes for 33 years. I have 3 serious head injuries. None of them were one of them was my fault. Actually, they were all my fault. One of them put me in the hospital for 10 days. I was supposed to stay for 2 weeks, but the girl I was dating at the time decided to give herself a head injury. She was riding a horse without a helmet, caught a low-hanging branch. She was a tough girl, still is. But when I heard she got knocked off her horse, I demanded to be let out of the hospital. So they let me out. She was fine, low speed. I don't think she was doing more than like 10 miles an hour. She got knocked right off the back of the horse. And I'm glad it was a good horse. You know? Didn't kick her on her way off. Getting kicked by a horse, even a pony. We had a dog at the farm. Sweet, sweet dog. She got kicked by we had a pair of, call them semi-feral ponies. They were hard to approach. I had one eating pasture cakes out of my hand, but very skittish. One of the ponies kicked the dog and killed it. It was such a shame. So we got rid of the ponies. Well, they got rid of the ponies. When I think of the farm, I think we, because it's like it's a big part of my life, but I'm not really you know, I really just go there when I'm needed. I think I've only done like 2 or 3 social visits. I gotta get this. Oh, call ended. All right. I'll call her back when I'm done with this. Shit. Hi, Linda. Yeah, I'm on the treadmill. Can I call you back? All right, cool. I don't know if she hung up or if the watch hung up for me. These things are fucking rude. And I'm really tired of AI wanting to write my emails for me. I mean, now if I'm writing to a charity offering to do some fundraising, I want it to sound professional, more professional than I usually sound. But when it's social, I don't need help. The people I socialize with, they know me. They know what I'm going to say and what I'm not going to say. They know what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. With some degree of reliability. But I certainly don't want Google determining when my phone call ends based on what I say. You know? It is kind of neat being able to answer your phone with your watch, though. But yeah, it's the lady who owns the farm. So I guess they got some work for me. If I go there straight from off the treadmill, and come back here, take a shower, I can still get to work by 5. Put in like 5.5 hours, stay till 10:30. There's really no point in staying past 10:30. Every once in a while, you'll get a delivery, but if it's a big one, you're just going to piss off the workers. They want to get out of there. They want the store empty so the overnight guys can do their work. Just crossed the 4-mile mark. But every so often, they gave me this one crappy little delivery late Saturday. I think it was around like 9:45. And I took it because it was a plastic rocking horse for infants. Like, I gotta. It only paid $11. I don't think there was a tip. But I did it. If it was for something else, I might not have. Because I just wanted to go home at that point. But when I saw it was like a rocking horse for a baby, can't say no to that. But it was a bitch finding entrance to the, what do you call it? To the apartment complex. It's not where Google Maps says it is. But now I know when I get a delivery to that apartment complex. I'm getting good with the apartments around here. Like there's a big apartment complex up Georgetown Road. And when I was doing DoorDash, I used to get so fucking lost. And I would park on the street outside, not knowing that the entrance to the parking lot was just like 200 feet ahead. But I did it. I learned my way around. I know my accounts are low. I got my phone bill coming up in 3 days. And that's going to be like I think it's only $101 this month. My phone is all paid for, but now I'm paying for the watch and the tablet. I couldn't have afforded either if I couldn't do it on installments. But this thing is to find my phone. That's its primary purpose. The other stuff, like counting steps, the Fitbit bit, that stuff, that's there for like entertainment, really. I know how I feel after a good cardio workout. I know how I feel after a good strength building workout, so I really don't need it for that. But I don't really know too many people down here, and there's no one within walking distance who could ring my phone for me when I can't find it. And I do really stupid shit, like put my phone in like really clever places. I won't forget putting it here. Ring, ring. I want to get something similar for my keys, but I've been pretty good with my keys lately. But one set of my keys stays in my, I got a fanny pack, but it hangs on the side. Looks cool that way. And one set of keys is always in that, and sometimes I can't find the fanny pack, so find the keys, find the pack. What do they call them? Air something. What's his face? Apple makes them. Little tracking devices. Spy on your spouse. Track their every motion. Alright, in about a minute I'm going down to 4.2. I'm just trying to work out in my head. I have to get a USB expansion card for my computer. So the cameras have their own USB circuit, or their own USB bus, whatever you want to call it. Because, I mean, you fart near these things, they'll go out. This camera here, the one that's on me, that one hasn't gone out much at all. That one over there, the one that's recording me from the side, if you wiggle the wire, it cuts out. It'll freeze. And then you have to trial and error pulling it and putting it back in. I think I missed the 65-minute mark. It's not a big deal, it just means I slow down. Yeah, alright. 4.2 miles an hour. Yeah, what I was saying before, slowing down, you feel it more than speeding up. I'm just trying to think, if I can't find a gym to host the fundraiser, I'm going to have to do it here. And I'm wondering, I did 21 miles on this a week ago from last Friday. and it held up. The reason I stopped is because I was getting winded, and the reason that happened because I wouldn't shut the fuck up. The soles of my feet were sore, but not unbearably sore. My legs felt solid. But I got winded because, blah, 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 blah. So I'm hoping, I can get some people from the charity to kind of like take up some of the dead air. Maybe talk about some of their success stories and things like that. And we could do like a mutual stream. I would also like to have them monitoring the chat, controlling, because it's an LGBTQ plus charity, and wherever you have LGBTQ plus anything, you have wise guys, trolls. Personally, trolls are going to troll. But for their charity, it really does affect their ability to fundraise. It affects their how they deal with it, affects their reputation. A very clever troll can undermine the seriousness of their charity. So if they could monitor the chats, that would be really good. But I'd like to have the two views that I have now, the head-on view and the side view. But I'd like to have a camera right about here focused on the deck, the readout. So you can see, I'm doing 4 miles an hour for 60 minutes, but I don't want to jump on at 4 miles an hour. I want to warm up like I did at the start of this workout. So I'll be going to 65 minutes. It'll be a little over 4 miles, but we'll just call it 4 miles. But I want people to see that I'm not just saying, oh, look, even though you could have an AI watch the side view, measure my stride, count how many steps and calculate what the mileage is. I know how fast I'm walking. What this looks like about, 4 miles an hour, even though it's 4.2. 3.8. Still. I don't need to fake 4 miles an hour. And I'm pretty sure I can give at least 6-7 hours. If I shut the fuck up, maybe 8, 9, or 10. But I'm landing heavy on this thing, and I really don't want to break it. Now the dog's gonna want some hugs when I'm off the treadmill. I gotta dry myself off completely. I don't know if you've ever gotten really sweaty and then gone and hugged a wire hair terrier. Hugging a dog is a wonderful experience, but not when you're covered with sweat. And this dog sheds. We got little what do they call them? Tumbleweeds. Little dog hair tumbleweeds. When the ceiling fan hits them just the right way, they tumble across the prairie. Ooh, excuse me. If I make a funny face because a step was off, and I felt myself drift to one side or the other. Sometimes my feet don't match the pace of the conveyor belt, and it will slip. So if you see me make a sudden funny face, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm reacting to. Closing in on the 5-mile mark, 4.98, but the next time the readout scrolls through the values, the next time it hits distance, it'll be 5 miles. These workouts tend to be like around 6.5 miles, which makes sense. 4+ miles an hour for 90 minutes. 6 and change. My legs feel good though. Really good. The only strength exercises I'm giving my legs are squats, with a 24-pound overhead press. I do 3 sets of those on Monday and Friday. On Tuesday and Saturday. And on Thursday, I do really far too many lunges, more than I should do. It was 3 sets of 36, which comes out to 108 of them. I don't need to do that many. So I'm going to cut it down to 3 sets of 24. Which is what, 72? Yeah. In with the lunge, I mix a lat raise and 2 types, forward lat raise and lateral. I was doing like a standard lat raise too, where your arms are at a diagonal, but that seems unnecessary now. And the weights are only like 4 pounds. The weight will go up as my balance, as I become like more familiar with the motion. And it's one I've done many, many times, but I stopped strength training for 1.5 years. And before doing that, I had been doing it for about 3.5 years, something like that. So I'm familiar with all the motions, but form and execution are going to be so-so. But I like mixing the motion of the lat raises with the lunge. That's a nice way to coordinate your movement. And it looks kind of cool. I'm going to be changing my clothes a lot when I do the charity thing, just to avoid chafing. Chafing sucks. I got it really bad once. Oh God, the pain. I was just like lying in my room with a towel, towel wrapped around me, just doing anything I could to relieve the pain. But it went away. I mean, it went away in about 6 or 7 hours. Luckily. But yeah. Sometimes my foot lands a little askew. But it feels good for the most part. Slowing down to 4 miles an hour. I'll do this for the next 10 minutes and then do the cool off. Technically, this is either an 85-minute or a 95-minute workout, not 90. I call it an hour and a half because, but there's a 5-minute warm-up and a 5-minute cool off. This treadmill has a 99-minute limit, and it's not 99.59, it's 99.00. So I just try to keep the what do you call it, the workouts below that. So technically 85-minute, but who cares? I should just call it the 6.5 mile workout. Yeah, I think I could do 2 or 3 hours and then change clothes. These pants, I can't pronounce the name of the company that sells them on Amazon, but I love them. The one thing that kind of sucks is that they don't show you the actual color of the pants. What they do, the image is like really oversaturated, and the pants look really super vibrant. When you get them, they look like this, but I like this. I like this look. The purple looks like so rich. When I got it, it's kind of like muted, almost like a lavender. The red. At first, I was disappointed. The red, the color on the page, it's blood red, fades into black down, as you get down to the cuffs. I get it. It's salmon pink. But screw it. I still think they look cool because they go from salmon pink to black. I love the gradient. Another disappointment was that I got a multicolor gradient, and you can see the seam down the side. The patterns don't match. But that doesn't really even bother me. They're, I think they're like $18, but there's like a $7 shipping fee, so they could come out to like $25. I got 6 pairs of them. I want to get more, but I gotta watch my spending. Holy shit. And then one pay is like, hey, we're gonna buy some stocks for you. Remember, you told us to do that. I'm like, oh, fuck. So it was like $23. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it adds up. So I gotta make some money this week. I can't fuck around. But if they need me on the farm, I'm gonna go to the farm. Okay, 90 minutes, right. The 90-minute mark starts to cool off. But this is 4 miles an hour on a 4% grade. On a 2% grade, I could do this all day. And the only reason I haven't is because there's just too many time constraints. Like I would do it Sunday, but I like to, I got a lot done this past, actually yesterday. The game is now in a finished state. There was an issue where the race car, would hit the wall and it would get stuck to the wall. And you had to angle the car, almost 90 degrees in order to get off of it. And I couldn't figure out why. But I started screwing around with some variables and it worked. And now when the car hits the wall, it bounces off, and loses a bit of speed. And if you have the damage model on, smoke will start pouring out, and depending on what percentage of the car's hit points are left, that's your speed until the cars heal automatically. I was going to have pit stops, and that might be in the full version, but for now the cars just heal on their own, about 5 points a second. So if you smack a wall and you lose 25 points, your car's at 75% health, it's now at 75% speed. And then a second later, 80%, 85, 90, and back up to 100. And it's a cool little mechanic. It works really, really well. So there's a lot of options in the game. Maybe in the full game, there can be an option for which damage model to use, self-heal or pit stops. And if you do automatic healing, then the pit stops are just there for decoration. But I think pit stops would be so fucking cool. It would just be so cool. And I want to make, well, I shouldn't talk too much about it because the world we live in. But I am very excited. And my little LLC might actually become a profitable company. I'm very, very sweaty. I just passed the 6 mile mark. A little over 700 calories. And about 2 minutes to the cool off. Ooh. You got to keep your hands above the rails. I just happen to be the right height to where if I keep my hands down in a more natural position, they'll slap against this. This doesn't really bother me, but it does. Like, it doesn't hurt, but you know, it gets annoying. Like old farts on treadmills that won't shut up. Slowing down to 3.6, starting to cool off now. Do this for a minute or two, and I'm going to bring it down to 3.2. Kroger had Powerade Zero for $1 a bottle if you buy 10. So I bought 10. Gatorade was 3 for $5, which is a good deal. But the Powerade Zero, the grape tastes better than the, what do you call it? Better than the Gatorade Zero grape. So keep that in mind. Also, the Gatorade Zero doesn't appear to have any electrolytes, looking at the label, and the Powerade apparently does, so something to take into consideration. I have a really good diet, so I'm not too worried about it. I get plenty of sodium, I get plenty of potassium, or plenty of magnesium. Calcium. I eat dairy, so I get plenty of calcium. Going down to 3.2. cool off always feels good. You have to flex your legs more slowly. And after 85 minutes, your legs feel very powerful. Oh, excuse me. It's a great feeling. I talk about this a lot, counting blessings, and one I always keep in the forefront of my mind is my mobility. When I shop and I see people in the mobility scooters, it kind of makes me sad, especially when it's the result of an injury, and that injury leads to them not being able to get exercise in, So even a healthy diet ends up putting on extra weight, and a vicious cycle. And it really sucks. Really grateful for many things. I have mental health issues, but nowhere near as bad as I've seen other people where they can't distinguish reality from delusion, or they're incapable of standing up for themselves, or watching out for themselves. And it's just, a sad thing. But I'm really, really grateful that I don't have those issues. Going down to 2.8 for a minute, and then 2.4 for like 30 seconds, and I'm going to shut it off. But I think I'm going to do a fundraiser. If it's successful, even if it isn't, I think I might do a fundraiser like that every 2 months. Even numbered month. Somewhere like the third Saturday of the month, something like that. I'm going down to 2.4. Yeah, 6.42 miles. I think in about 30 seconds it'll be 6.5 or 6.48 or something. 95 minutes. That's pretty much the end. Let's see. What does the distance say? 6.44. If I stay on for another minute, it'll go to 5.2. It's not that important. I'm going to shut it down. Oof. Okay. I just want to shut it off. Yeah, that felt pretty good. Anyway, many blessings and many thanks. I'll be back tomorrow with the dumbbell upper body strength training workout. I hope to see you then. Until then, take care and best wishes to you and all you love. Good health, good fortune, and lasting happiness.